how did you feel when you first got to UPike as a freshman? So, when I was a freshman, that was like 3 years ago. I feel like it was forever ago. But I was nervous. I don't usually make friends that well. I kind of was in my bubble, but being a part of the archery team kind of expanded me and made me reach out and getting into the campus more. I was a little overwhelmed with the classes. I used to, get straight A's in high school. College is definitely not high school. It was very stressful for me to adjust, and my high school teachers did not prepare me for that. I realized that when I had failed my first class as a freshman, and it really devastated me. And so that was freshman year was really hard for me because I was still trying to adjust and making new friends and getting involved with the campus and stuff like that, and knowing who I can and can go talk to and stuff like that. What would I say to a future freshman who are picking classes? I would say take the classes that are required for your degree. So my advisor, they completely messed up my whole thing. I'm actually a semester behind right now because of freshman year. They put me in classes that I did not need. So be extremely careful and go over your schedule. Make sure that is actually what you need. When is the busiest time during the archery season? The busiest time would probably be spring semester because you have two different seasons in that semester. And it's really hard because you're trying to manage all of your classes, and if you get sick, you can't miss class whatsoever because you're going to miss so much for archery. So that would probably be the busiest time during the archery season is definitely spring semester. What would you schedule? Would you schedule your hardest classes during the fall or the spring? I would honestly do it during the fall because you only have two tournaments in the fall. So that is kind of really flexible. So I would do definitely the fall because that's how I do mine. Even to this day, I used to do my hardest classes in the spring because, I just kind of pushed it back and pushed it back. Well, now, it's catching up, and I would tell a freshman, take your hardest classes during the fall or when, your season isn't in season. Do you use Rate My Professors to pick classes? Um, no, not no and yes. So for my freshman classes, not really because I didn't know who to go and talk to about is this a good professor? How hard is she? Is she very understanding with stuff like that? But with upper me getting up into my upper level classes, yes, I do. I try to steer clear of the harder professors just because of how busy archery is and stuff like that. Did you talk to upperclassmen to see who was good? I didn't really know anyone freshman year to go and talk to because, when I was a freshman, that was the first year we had archery. So I didn't know of anyone on campus besides the fellow freshmen that were on the archery team. Did I use a planner? Yes. And I still use my planner. I start probably about 3 days before classes start and jot every bit of assignments down. I color code them. So, blue is one class, green is another class, yellow is one class, and then I would put all of my work schedule in, and then archery schedule. So yes, it did help me. I really did like that a lot. It made me feel more organized. How do you manage your time? Honestly, it just depends, like, what I'm doing, what time of year it is, like, stuff like that. I'm a senior. I am an RA. I work for the YMCA, and it's very hard to even balance archery into that, let alone, have a social life. So I think I do good managing my time. Freshman year, I talked to Mandy. She is one of the freshmen. I don't know what to even call her. She is the one who puts together schedules, but we used to call her the campus mom because she would sit down with me, take my whole entire schedule, work schedule, everything, put it into this whole week. So from like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. or 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., that's when I would study, or that's when I'd go to class, or, different stuff like that. So it would go from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., and that's how my day worked freshman year. What do you consider to be manageable amount of classes to take? So for me, I can focus on like 4 to 5 classes at one time. That's really pushing it. So probably about 15 to 16 hours. I did take a 18-hour one and a 20-hour semester. That was stressful. I do not recommend it unless you are very, very, very good at managing your time. Also, you're very smart. Like, I am not smart, so it was too much at once. I was focusing on one class more than the other. It was just a bad time in general. Do you recommend study groups? Yes, I do. Take advantage of the study groups. If a professor says they're going to come and meet you in the library at 10 o'clock because that's the only time you're available, take it. I had statistics with Dr. Seidel my sophomore year and absolutely loved it. She is the one that changed my idea of study groups. Because, I thought study groups were like, oh, that's just like teacher pets, go to it. But no, like, they're there for you to learn the material, make sure you know what's going to be on the test, everything like that. And I really do appreciate what Dr. Seidel did, because she would meet me at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and she'd stay there until it closed or until we were done studying. What did you do if you got behind in classes? Junior year fall, I was sick a lot. I got the flu and then everything like that. So I got behind in classes because I was just so weak I couldn't do anything. I went to my professors, told them exactly what happened, just being straight up with them, like, should I drop this class because I'm so far behind? Should I try to get everything in? More than 99% of the time, professors will say, all right, look, you have two options. I will reopen every assignment. You get them in by like a week and a half, or, you're so far behind, like, you can't physically get back up. And you should probably just drop the class. So when I got behind, I would go to my professor and just, tell them what goes on and everything like that. And it really did help. What does your practice schedule look like? So during the fall, we have 3D So usually practices are in the afternoons. Then indoor is in spring. It's like January to mid-March, if that. That's the time that it sucks because it's either 6 a.m. or middle of the day, and it just like really depends on how your class schedules are looking and everything like that. Mine was 6 a.m. and it was awful. I would barely wake up. Like, it was just bad time. I'm not a morning person, so what do you do when you know you will be gone for a tournament? First thing, for the first week of my classes, I will tell them, like, hey, I will be gone these dates for archery. Let them know in advance, then, a week before the tournament, hey, just a reminder, I'm going to be out these dates because I'll be at a tournament. So I'm so sorry. I always, communicate that with my professors. And yes, the coaches do tell the professors, but the professors want it to come from you. So you need to, be like, hey, here's this. Here's this. You know what I mean? Some professors are lenient. Some are not. So my history professor right now, the only way I'm allowed to miss class for a tournament is if I beat my personal record, win the tournament. If not, the next day in class, I have to sit out in the hallway and listen. And I think he's joking about that, but he's like, he wants me to do very well with my sport, but he also wants to make sure I'm not just wasting my time. You know what I mean? It is very important to communicate with them about tournaments. Any other advice for future freshman archers? I would say get connected with, What's Up Wednesdays or student activities. Do anything with the, campus and, getting involved with campus. Make sure you set aside so many hours during the week where you're going to study. I try to, if I have a full schedule, I would study Tuesday and Thursdays. And then I'd be done, for my weekend. I'd have all of my classwork done. Now, if I did have a assignment pop up for Saturday, I'd have to do that. But I would try to get all of my classwork done on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That way, I'm good for the weekend. I don't have to stress about it. I don't have to make sure I'm not missing anything. Anything else? Get connected with the people that live on your floor. I know it's very awkward and it's community style showers or you're in a Jack and Jill style suite. But still get connected with them. Those will be your best friends for the 4 years you are in college. I lived in Condit, the 4th floor, and we were probably the wildest ones, but we were definitely the most connected ones also. We'd all just leave our doors open when we're there, pop in and out of people's rooms, everything like that. It was just a great time. We'd have, when we went to go shower, we'd have, the radio blasting. We'd all sing. I had a few volleyball players, so, when they get back, we all welcomed them with, signs, off the elevator. It's just those different things, like, that's what those memories will stick through until you graduate. Looking back at it, I would not have changed it for the world. So that's about it. Good luck, freshmen.